and I have 1 minute to go.
You just, I'm just sitting here.
Finger.
Yeah, my finger. So just 3, 5 minutes.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My topic today is a boring one. It's what we've all been talking about all the time, that is riba. So I believe it's boring. But because I have an interest to explain it to some Muslim brothers who believe that there is no difference. Interest is not haram because of the lower risk element. So to start, that to a Muslim economy, or to a Muslim, to any Muslim, interest is the same as riba. I'm taking the general consensus. Okay, the task of underpinning the jurist view of riba prohibition is an ongoing task. The Islamic jurists can't say, well, the Quran say riba is around to, that's the end of the story. People have to continue renewing and re-emphasizing this view and explaining why this is haram. Riba has been a clear and well-documented subject in Islamic jurisprudence across time. This is a fact. Different Islamic jurisprudence books will emphasize this claim. The Quran is where we as Muslims get our primary source. The Quran says that riba is forbidden until it's allowed. And then again, the Quran continues, "O you who believe, fear Allah and abandon whatever remains of riba." So this tells us that we shouldn't find any excuse or use any excuse to say that, well, we have to engage in riba. We have to engage in riba because of this and this. We should try our best not to engage in it. Muslim scholars never experience a state of mixed feeling about the legitimacy of profit for trade. The reason I'm using profit here, if Allah tells us riba is haram, don't engage in riba, He must give us something to use as our means of income, which is trade. So through trade, profit is allowed. Why did Dr. Saif Al-Zagindin says that Muslim scholars never had a mixed feeling? Because if you look at the Greek philosophy and even different Christian points of view, even profit was questioned by some of them. Aristotle was one key. So for us as Muslims, profit is never a problem because Rasulullah sallallahu himself was engaging in trade. So indeed, trade allows both parties, that is the investor and the entrepreneur, to share the risk. In that case, few scholars argue in favor of interest due to the low rate charged to borrowers for productive purposes. One of these scholars is an Egyptian cleric who used to say that the government can engage in interest, in charging interest. For example, in post office accounts or in government deposits. The rationale he gave was this: the government will use the income for development or productive purposes. The question requiring answers here is that if interest is not riba because it's used for productive ventures, is there any evidence to suggest that riba was all for consumption in the pre-Islamic period? Now, some of these clerical scholars who are trying to question the ban on interest or equating interest with riba, they are saying that during the Jahiliyyah period, the riba charge was exorbitant and people were poor. They were using this money just to make ends meet, to consume it. But there was no evidence, according to Abu Zara. He said that there is absolutely no evidence to support the contention that riba of Jahiliyyah was on consumption and not on development loans. And again, the Pakistani Religious Ideology Council equated interest with riba. They said that, to quote them, riba encompasses interest in all its manifestations, irrespective of whether it relates to loan for consumption purposes or for productive purposes. So this is the main gem of my argument, which is that riba is interest, whether it's low or higher, whatever purposes, whether it's to trade for our daily consumption, it is haram. It is all the same. So that sort of concluded what the Pakistani Council said. Whether the borrower is the government. Now, to sort of debunk the claim by the Egyptian cleric, his name, clear up in my mind, I can't remember his name, who stated that the government can engage in this. We all know approximately every Muslim country is borrowing from the IMF and from the World Bank, and they are paying for servicing this debt at a massively higher interest rate which is now slowing down the growth and the human development in our society. Even the government engaging in this, they are engaging in haram activity. There is no reason for them to do it, except maybe in their circumstances. Allah knows best. It's interest in the mainstream sense. Now, I cannot talk about riba only in the Islamic sense without coming to the mainstream sense. In the mainstream, I mean the conventional economic sense, interest is regarded as a way of earning legitimate income. That's no problem.